Nerd Reactor, roll out.
What's up, Reactorites? John here, and this is a very special time now that we have because I'm going to be talking about the Joker. This movie is a game changer. This movie is bonkers. This movie is nuts, and there are so many gears working to make this movie great. And Todd Phillips, he's the director. He's done comedies like Hangover. He's done Road Trip and all that. And so I had my reservations on whether this would be a really, really good movie in terms of it being a serious movie compared to him doing like his other usual comedy stuff. And so he knocks that one out of the park. So all this stuff, doing these comedy films, I think they've been a great segue for him to do the Joker. Because the Joker, this is a character that laughs a lot, but he's also a villain, a DC villain, and he, in the comics, movies, whatever, he kills people. So he's pretty sadistic. He's chaotic, and I think there's no other better director for this than Todd Phillips. And he did right by casting Joaquin Phoenix to play the Joker. And in this movie, the Joker, we're introduced to this character named Arthur Fleck, and he's a clown. He's trying to make it, as a comedian, but life, just treats him like crap. And as you've seen in the trailers, people beat him up, and yet people making fun of him, especially in the recent trailer. So with this one, he wants to be a comedian, and he's got a condition, so he's kind of out there. He's kind of weird. And I love the way Joaquin Phoenix did this, where it's kind of like you have uncontrollable laughter. And this movie really talks about mental illness issues. So you see the character talking to a person that's helping him out, kind of like a psychologist, but more like a social worker. And it really dives deep into what if a character like the Joker exists in real life. And this is what Nolan did to Batman. This is what I think Phillips does to Joker by creating a realistic take on an iconic character that's in a fictional comic booky world, but making it believable, grounded, and with the movie being rated R, oh my God, it's gruesome, it's bloody, it's like we've had rated R comic book films out there. Blade was rated R. Watchmen, that's rated R. But with the Joker, this is like a top tier character, and Batman, Batman's a popular character with everyone, with adults and with kids. And I don't think that Warner Brothers will do like a live action R-rated Batman film. Maybe they will after this. With this movie being a game changer, there's a lot of things that this movie does. Rated R for having a very popular comic book character, DC character, and you have the presentation where it doesn't even feel like a comic book movie. This is a character study. This movie is a slow burn, and you really get to see how he is, how he thinks, how he feels, and how life treats him, to slowly turning him into the Joker that we know and love from the comics. And I love it. I love every moment of this, and you really feel for Arthur Fleck. It's kind of crazy too. This is a villain, and we don't have that many movies where we're rooting for the bad guys. Maybe anti-heroes, but a straight up villain that kills people. And I feel kind of guilty about rooting for him too. We've had plenty of those type of movies before where you're kind of like rooting for the bad guys or not, but in the end they kind of get screwed over. Especially with, the crime movies like Goodfellas and all that, and since they're based on a true story, like the cops get them and all that. But with this, the Joker, since this is an origin story, and you already know that with an origin story, that means there's going to be more future prospects for this character, and it's crazy because it kind of makes you root for the Joker. But I wouldn't say that this movie is glorifying being a bad guy, because it does show you this is what happens. This is like a pretty realistic take on certain serious issues with death and mayhem and all that. But I think with this movie, with its subject matter about a villain who goes crazy, killing people, and creating havoc, and it's how it's like art imitating life, or is it life imitating art? And I think for these type of films, it's kind of both, especially with life. And life has always been filled with violence. And I know that there's going to be certain type of people that's going to be like, oh, this movie, it's promoting violence and all that. But violence has existed. And as long as there's people, there will always be war. There will always be bloodshed. And, we've had this way before when movies came out. And when, when people have had enough, they want to take the establishment down. And we've seen this with, the Revolutionary War. We've seen this, with the French Revolution. And so, yeah, there is a system here. And there is something that the Joker is really upset about. And this really touches on, it's very topical, even today, with you got the different classes of people. And they're trying to fight for a better life. And in the city of Gotham, the fuse has been lit, and there's no stopping it. And, if you read the comics or you watch the film, Gotham is a crappy place to be, especially with all these villains surrounding the area. So that's why you have characters like Batman trying to do some good, trying to save the people of Gotham, trying to stop these villains. And I think Joker is a great origin story for the Joker. And I want to see more of just characters in that universe. This needs to be like its own separate universe from the DCEU, and I am loving it. And then let's go back to Joaquin Phoenix as Arthur Fleck Joker, and what he really does with this character is it's a very different take than what you've seen from the films, and even in the comics, like the comics and some of the films, even Heath Ledger, like his origin story, it's kind of hazy, and you're not sure where he's coming from. Here, it's also kind of hazy, and you're still kind of questioning where he's coming from, but it gives you more of a reason on how he got there. And with the this illness, with the uncontrollable laughter, and just him just feeling like crap until one day he snaps. And I just have to say, it pretty much captures like some of the Joker comic book origins, where all it takes is one bad day, and the Joker, you see in the trailers, he does have a bad day. So yeah, there was actually a misquote from Todd Phillips from an article where it says that he is not inspired by a particular comic book, and what he actually meant was that he wasn't taking from any particular comic book, because he was inspired by a lot of them. So he's trying to capture some stuff from this comic, capture some stuff from this comic book, and this is what he said in the Q&A. And when you watch the movie, you understand, like, because I was watching it, and I was like, this is just like parts from The Killing Joke, and this is like from another part, and so you can definitely tell Todd Phillips, he does pay homage to the Joker origin stories, especially with Joker being trying to be a comedian. As for certain elements that might shock, DC fans, Joker fans, Batman fans, there are some few moments where you're like, no, I can't believe they did that. But when you keep watching, you're like, oh man, this is good, and I see why Todd Phillips did this, and it's Todd Phillips does a great job just getting people excited, and there are specific beats where you're like, oh no, please. I don't even want to talk about this part, because you have to see it for yourself. Joker, this movie is nuts, it's intense, it's insane, and it's a game changer. It definitely, I see, this is, if Warner Brothers headed in this direction, I am all for it, and it's going to be completely different from like other comic book movies. So yeah, I feel like comic book movies should have all types of genres, and I feel like we're headed in that direction where it's good, where Logan feels like a Western. You have Deadpool, it's a rated R comedy, and then even with Captain America Winter Soldier, that one's like a political thriller. So we are, it's a good time to be a comic fan, and with Joker, yeah, this is gonna move people. This is gonna change things, and it's nuts because at the end of the film, I was watching it with other members of the media, and we're the people on my row. We were shocked by the end of the movie. We were like, our jaws were dropping. We didn't know how to react, and it's one of those movies where at the end we're like, oh, this is a moment. This is an experience. Everyone in the theater, I felt we've experienced something very special, and I can't wait. I cannot wait for you guys to watch this movie, and I think you would love it. Mostly everyone, I believe you guys would dig it. I just want to give props to Todd Phillips, props to Joaquin Phoenix for delivering an awesome performance as the Joker, as Arthur Fleck. I believe like he should win an Oscar. This movie should be a contender for the Oscars. But if not, I'm gonna be pretty disappointed. But it's up there. This is a film that's I think it's gonna be talked about a lot, and I just can't stop being excited about this film. I want to watch it again. Definitely, highly recommended. Joker. When it comes out early October. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Once the movie comes out, let me know what your thoughts are on the comments below. With that said, I'm John, and I'll see you guys next time.